God is great. First and foremost. Don't you wish everything could be so perfect? Free enterprise, overexposed, irritated, uneducated, still scribble my flows. The jubilation, the euphoria, pushing the foreign in the morning, pick your daughter up, drop the seed off, the weed off, slow motion, fast forward till we speed off, grinding till my new accountant is fully at ease, beefing with broke, really like pulling my teeth. Get away from it, you looking so suspicious, like Parker, heavy-hearted, you simple-minded. Don't be jealous of me, I keep enough foes, get all the sneakers, not enough clothes. You could have the X, I got enough. You could have my next, once we a month old. Reptile, black Birkin, bamboo handle. Not a trophy on the mantle, but I got a phantom. Being down and out was inconceivable. When you find out the one you love is just misleading you. Trying to make a living, remain spiritual. Egotistical ways I embraced back in middle school. If the chick was game, we would run a train. Send her home on a bus, then forget her name. But now to be the realest one. I done cried on the shoulder when I'm feeling numb. Seen a man get life and never shed a tear. But his daughter in the ninth never pierced the ears. Time will come when all that nice disappears. Why you think I'm on the night shift with pills? Mind frame of that boy that was found slain. Mouth slang, you could tell I've been around Kane. Double R, Ricky Ross, we been the gang. Bottom of the black market, time to rise again. My inner Andre 3000. So many false allegations, it's my image tainted. 3 weeks in the hole as if it heinous. As I'm pacing in the cell, all these pictures painted. All I wanted was some Bel Air and a Danish. Inmates gave me commissary just because I'm famous. Or is it cause I'm rich and I know what pain is? Assassinate Trump like I'm Zimmerman. Now accept these words as they came from Eminem. Democratic Party sentenced to the pendulum. Killing them, I voted for Andre Benjamin. Had a black music, do you know what rhythm is? Stick your hand in the basket, it gets venomous. Straight player, my chicks finish my sentences. Time to squash the beef or kill a nemesis. Show up at the wedding in my Timberlands. And for the record, know my best man a killer.
So if I die before I wake, say I lived my way. Never said I would be perfect. Never said that I deserved it. Never said I wouldn't lie. Never said I wouldn't make my mama cry. But if I'm gonna die, I believe it's alright. It was so amazing. So amazing. It was so amazing. So amazing. I wouldn't change a thing. No, no, no. No. It was so amazing. So amazing. Oh, it was so amazing. So amazing. I wouldn't change a thing.
Justice League. Let's do a mic check. Who with us? Let's do a mic. Boy, the flaming questions are coming in now hot. Carolyn Smith wasted no time. I have a confession to make. I did not reach out to Drop, Carolyn. It was my fault. If the brother calls today, can everybody hear me? Let's do a mic check first before I start lying and all that old stuff about how Drop. I called Drop and it was no there was no answer. I reached out and hey twin, stop talking about how late I am, bro. Unless you're gonna look, I'm gonna give my application to them people down at Kroger. Hook me up. Make sure I get off every day at 12:30, and I promise to get home right on time. I promise to get here at the gates on time. Stop worrying about what time I get here. I told you this shit don't pay enough for me to be on time. They can fire me anytime they want to. I would be okay with that. Let's get the comments up. Why y'all didn't tell me? Someone should have told me. Comments were not up. Hook me up with a job, twin, at Kroger, and I'll be on time as long as my supervisor lets me off every day at 12:30. I'll rip home. I'll zimp home real fast. And I'll make it here on time at 12:30. At 1 o'clock. Get me off at 12:30. Hook me up, twin. Get me a job. Don't y'all hate when people try to use you to get on somewhere? And then they come to the job and be a straight ass. Now everything they do is a reflection of you. This is why I don't do that. I don't waste my resources on people. I'm sorry. Y'all get mad at me if you want to. I didn't have too many partners that I didn't hooked up with some shit. Excuse me. Let me get my microphone right. Can you guys hear me okay? I didn't have too many people that I didn't wasted my resources on, hooking them up with apartments, hooking them up with jobs, hooking them up with shit that I didn't burn. I didn't burn somebody with giving them a bad piece of some bad shit. One of my buddies, somebody I'm trying to, hook up, help, whatever, so they won't say some shit about me. Oh, you changed. You don't want to help a brother out. Shut the fuck up. You know how many people I didn't put in position and they didn't went somewhere and asked it up, and then my name was with them? Nah, I'm not doing that. And I know I'm not the only one. We all done did it. Everybody. And if you have never done it, you're probably the one that got hooked up with a job. You didn't went somewhere because somebody didn't hooked you up, and you didn't asked up that job, and you put their name in bad light. You didn't made their name look totally, you just made them all the way raggedy. All right, let me explain to you what's going on. I don't think Drop is gonna be calling. Look, let me start lying on Drop for a little while, okay? Let me just start lying on Drop. I went out to California and Drop was nowhere. I don't even know if Drop live in California. I don't know if Drop live in Cali. I don't know. I mean, you know how easy it is to call to get a cell phone. I could say I'm in China. I could get an area code from fucking New Zealand if I really wanted to, and call in and be like, I'm sitting here in Amsterdam. I'm in Amsterdam, and I was wondering what you think about that new tax law. I could do that shit. I could perp out like that, but I'm not gonna do that. Drop. I promise I'm gonna set the record straight here in a second. Drop. I didn't call Drop 15 times. I got the receipts on the phone to prove it. I didn't call that man, text message that man. I didn't send pigeons and ravens and all type of shit looking for him. He probably live in the trailer park in Lebanon, Ohio, some motherfucking where. That's all. I'm just saying. I don't know where Drop. Drop was nowhere to be found. I'm just playing. For the record, I went, but I didn't reach out for Drop because my time got cut. I was a little short. I had a meeting that went over, and and listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I was having a good day, and I didn't want to argue with that motherfucker. I didn't want to show up, do lunch with a dude that I know I'm going to have to debate, like, if the bread tastes good. Because if I say, damn, this bread is soft, it's nice, it tastes good. Drop is the type of person that say, no, that bread it don't taste good. It ain't soft. It's soft, and it tastes good. That's how he is, right? Drop. I said the same thing you just said. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Drop. I said the same thing you just said, brother. I said that the bread is soft. It tastes good. No, you didn't, Wyatt. No, you didn't. I didn't want to do that shit. I didn't want to mess up. Look, that's a 4-hour flight. The only day that I was going to have time to spend with Drop is the day that I was coming back, and I didn't want that shit on my mind for 4 hours coming back to Cincinnati. I didn't want that shit on my mind for 4 hours on the plane. I wouldn't have been right. So honestly, I'm just going to tell y'all the truth. I went and handled my 2-day business, came back. I didn't reach out to Drop because I didn't want to argue. You know, Drop can be Whirlpool. And I just didn't want to. The only day that I would have had time to link with Drop would have been the day that I was actually coming back. Sunday night, I would have had to fly back with Drop on my mind. That would have been bird shit. A drop of bird shit on my mind. Now, I'm only kidding, Drop. I'm only kidding. I did not get a chance. I flew into somebody. Scott Bain said, what part were you in? I went to LA, but I flew into Burbank. I always fly into Burbank. I don't fly into LAX. LAX is too busy. They gonna catch me, on a bad day one time. They caught me on a bad day in LAX. I'm not necessarily banned from there, but I kind of banned myself from flying into LAX. I'm not an LAX guy. I don't like all the shit that be in there and people, I just don't like it. And to be honest with you, LAX is way too busy. I don't like to fly into really, really busy airports. Okay. Scott Bain says, okay, I was in San Francisco. That is not something to be proud of. I'm just playing, Scott. I hope you had a great weekend or wherever. I mean, you still may be there. I don't know. But I had to get back. But anyway, my business is conducted. I still need to wrap up a few things and I'll be done. I don't know how many of you guys know or even care, but I'm wrapping down. I plan on retiring soon. So what I'm doing is I'm lining up my ducks, putting all my ducks in a row and linking with people in business that I've been in business with 15 years or better. And it allows me to turn over the reins, sit down. I don't want to do a Zoom call or a Zoom FaceTime with someone and talk about the things of future. And I don't want to do that. I need to see you face to face. I need to sit down. I need to make sure the body language is right. And these are people that I've done business with. So it's not a matter of that. It's just I'm a personal person, if that makes sense. Zoom and all this type of stuff. To be honest, if I could do Wyatt live in an auditorium with everybody that's on here now, if everybody could just show up every day at 1:00, I probably would still be late. But I would feel more comfortable if everybody that's talking to me in the chat or making comments or whatever, calling in, if they were sitting in the audience and we was just having a face-to-face. Makes me feel better. This video Zoom stuff is a little new for me. And I don't really, it's taking a lot of getting used to, so to speak. But with all that being said, I showed a video on Friday of the man who was in court. I want y'all to understand something. I'm not used to court being on video, only on extradited cases, so to speak. Okay, cases where an inmate may be in Tennessee and he's refusing extradition to Ohio, maybe, let's just say. And I've seen video arraignment, okay? But to actually a court proceeding on video, I generally don't follow misdemeanors or driving violations and things of that nature. So I'm not used to seeing court being handled on Zoom and guys pleading guilty or not guilty to cases. And I'm assuming that COVID must have created all of this because it's just not up my will. I've just never really been. Number one, I don't think it's a really good idea. I don't think it's a good idea for my own personal reasons. Number two, I think it can become an invasion of privacy. A lot of people don't understand that video and, things that you put on become receipts. And I think this man on Friday actually learned it the hard way. And he also gave everyone a lesson. I don't even know what did I name that. Let me see something because I don't have a whole lot to talk about today because I've been a little busy. But let me just see something. Let me see if I even named it because I could show it again for those that may have missed it because I talked about it at the end of the show on Friday. I'm gonna say it yesterday. There's a couple things I do want to go over. I want to clear up the air, clear up on some things. But let me see if I still have that video. Let me see. I don't know if I have it. That's not it. Let me see if I have it, guys. Zoom arrest. Okay, I think I do. And just for the hell of it, while people are waiting, I'll or while I'm waiting for people to get here, I should say while I'm waiting. All right, I got the name of it. I got it. What you say, DC? DC said, I'm willing to bet a bench warrant was issued for his arrest. No way no way he Uber or caught a bus to jail. No, I got it. I'm sorry, it was me. I mean, that's the dumbest shit in the world. I'm going to show it here in a second for everybody. Let me catch up to speed. My apologies for stumbling and bumbling. Like I said, I got a lot going on today. And this is going to be a short show. But I want to clear up some things and make some things. Y'all might be shocked about something that I'm going to say. Some of you will be shocked. Some of you are going to be like, see, he always making up excuses. Now, here it is. Here's the favorite line. Coon. See, he always talking about this. He always talking about that. He won't talk about them badass white folks. It's always being racist to us. He won't talk about that when it's obvious that it is. But I'm going to show you something. I want to have a small conversation about that. I don't have to be right. I don't care if you don't agree with me. It's not a matter of that. But I am going to talk about that. And then I want to touch one more time on something. I want to touch on one thing about something that I left on the table on Friday. And that was how much money black churches put in the banking system in America. Oh, I was challenged, but that's okay. Like I told you, I'm not here to convince minds. I'm not here to convince minds. All right. Fame, what's good? He says this. He says, no, Wyatt, that guy's license was reinstated 2 years ago. This was a clerical error. He didn't act like it. Everybody in here knows if your license is suspended or not. Now, I'm not suggesting you're wrong, Fame. I'm not saying you're wrong, but let's be honest. If I had my license suspended 2 years ago and it got, well, let's just say 3 years ago, but it was reinstated 2 years ago, I know if I'm legal or not. And I know if I'm driving on a suspended license or not. I know that. That's an easy fix. But dude didn't act like, oh, no, y'all, this is messed up. You know, when we write. When we write, we make noise. When we, oh, no, man, I ain't got no problem driving. What you talking? That's y'all got me effed up or whatever. He didn't seem to have a problem. He didn't have a problem saying when they said, oh, all right, you have to turn yourself in by 6 o'clock today, or we're going to issue a bench warrant. I didn't hear him defend himself. I didn't hear him defend. Wait a minute, hold on. My license got reinstated 2 years ago. I didn't hear that. I heard him say, oh, damn, my dumb ass sitting here on Zoom. That's what I can hear his thoughts. Call me what you want to call me. What is that? What is that term? I don't know what it's called, but that's me. Oh, shit, my dumb ass. Oh, I can't believe I got caught. Let me watch it. Let's watch it real fast. And then I'll get on to a small topic. But I just want to, I don't think I like video arraignment. Well, video arraignment is different. I don't want to hold my case via Zoom unless I plan on not showing back up to court. You understand? Like if you find me guilty, so the fuck what? I ain't coming back no way. So when you catch me, I'll do my time. That's the only way a Zoom thing gonna work for me. But meanwhile, let me let you see this video again and then we'll move on, okay? I'm just waiting for some people in X to get in and a few other platforms. Check it out.
For Mr. Harris, who should be present via Zoom.
Mr.
Hello?
Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
You stationary?
I'm pulling
Yeah.
in right now at this second. Yes, I am.
All right. What are we doing?
Your Honor, we are respectfully requesting an adjournment in this matter, up possibly 2 to 4 weeks if the court would allow.
Okay. So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driving while license suspended,
That is correct, Your Honor.
and he was just driving. I don't even know why he would do that. So defendant's bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant is to turn himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond.
For Mr. Harris, who should be present via Zoom.
Yeah, that's not saying anything to me that this guy didn't feel like his license was suspended. The charge pending was driving under suspension. That's obvious. The court-appointed attorney said what the case was. She verified it with the court, with the judge. And it was him driving without a license. And it was pending. And here he is driving currently without a license. Pretty obvious to me. And when you ask, you got to understand the judge never asked him if he was driving because he didn't. It was not necessary. He never asked the client, or excuse me, he never asked the defendant if he was driving. He asked his attorney. He posed the question to the court, not to the individual. And that's what you're supposed to do because the attorney is really the only one that's supposed to be answering. The question shouldn't be directed to the defendant. It's to the defendant's defense, to his defense attorney. And that's why you'll never hear him. I mean, the evidence is right there. The smoking gun is right there. It's not necessary. He didn't have to open his mouth. He just asked him if you were moving, mainly because, number one, you're not even supposed to be on your cell phone while driving. So, that's kind of, if I wanted to be petty, I could say that's a violation as well in the state of Michigan. But I mean, I don't want to kick the dude when he's down. But the truth of the matter is, it was a very dumb mistake. Look, it's not the craziest thing in the world. It's funny. It's a little funny. But to be honest with you guys, can I tell you something that happened? I'm guilty of doing the same thing once upon a time in my life when I was a young man. When I moved back to Cincinnati, I didn't have a driver's license in the state of Ohio. Okay, I had an Oklahoma driver's license, and it was a permit. It wasn't even a full blast driver's license. In the state of Oklahoma, you can get your driver's license at the age of 15, and you can get a permit at 14. So at 15, I actually got my permit. And when I got my permit, it was for the state of Oklahoma. And I didn't have my full blast license yet. But now let me explain to you what I did. I moved back to Ohio prior to getting an Oklahoma license. And I didn't have a car. I didn't have anything to drive. I was a young man. I was 16. I was 16 years old when I got back. And well, this was just coming from Oklahoma. Let me back up just a little bit. I was 16 years old, and I had bought this little bang ass little ride from a neighbor that lived over by my family. Bought a little car for $1,000. And I drove that car around the city for a whole week before it was time for me to go take my driver's test. And it was a 5-speed. It was a stick shift. Now, granted, I had already been driving because in Oklahoma I could drive. The ability to drive, knowing how to drive was one thing. And, it's easy to do something stupid. And you just being so young and you just don't think about it all the way. That's an easy thing to do when you're at a young age. Now, I'm not quite sure how old Mr. Harris is or whatever his name is. I think it was Harris. I'm not so sure about that, but I know how easy it is to do something in broad daylight. It's foolish. And in my story, let me tell you what I did. I actually, y'all, what's that drive? What's the place up? Is it Harrison Avenue? Where's the BMV up where you take your driver's test in Cincinnati? Up there by Forest Park and all of that. What areas? Can somebody tell me what that is really? Because I'm going to die if I don't know what it is. I actually went up there by myself in that same car that I bought. Okay, I drove a 5-speed car, a stick shift, up to take my driver's test. I had already passed the written test, 7 Hills. Thank you, Preston. I took my test. I just drove up there. I didn't have a driver's license. I didn't have anything. I parked in the parking lot on Hamilton Avenue. Thank you, Sabrina. Yes, on Hamilton Avenue. And now I get Mount Healthy. Okay, that is one of them places on Hamilton, something like that. Y'all know where I'm talking about. It's next to the big, okay, I know how to get the right answer. It's right next to the big ass wig store. Where you could go in there and get a wig, a white t-shirt, and a 6-piece hot wing. All right, it's right there. Damn. Anyway, I went in there to take my driver's test, and I drove myself. And this big, y'all remember the big black dude that used to work in there? He was a big bodybuilder dude. He looked mean, but he was nice as hell. I didn't know he was nice until I was working, until he was my instructor or whatever, test taker. And he came out. We walked out together. He said, "Where's the car?" I said, "It's right there." And when he walked to the car, I think I told the story before. When he walked over there, he seen that it was a 5-speed. He seen that it was a stick shift. And he said, "You driving this one for your test?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "All right, come on, get in." He checked the license, the lights, the blinkers, make sure they work and all that. And then he told me, he said, "Did you drive this up here?" And I looked him square in his face. And I told him the truth. I said, "Yes, sir. I drove the car up here." And he said, "Okay, get in the car." They want to make sure you're going to put your seatbelt on. You're going to follow the rules. He seen me do all of that. And then I pulled out. He said, "All right, let's get on the road. Go this way and turn right so we can get out on the street." I get into the car, put my seatbelt on, blah, blah, blah. He's there with me. I go out, turn to the street. He said, "Turn back into the parking lot." I'm sure I told this story before. I turned back into the parking lot, and he had me go to the building where you go in to get your license and your test results. We went in. I was like, damn, I done messed up. I done told this man I drove this car up here. I don't have a license. He's going to fail me. And the brother looked at me and he said, "If you drove a 5-speed up here, you can drive." So I'm going to go ahead and he gave me the check to give me my license. I got my license that day. But folks, I was nowhere near the age of the man that we seen in that video right there. Okay, so, I don't want to say that he's stupid or anything, but it was a bonehead move. But we all make mistakes that we just don't think about. Some mistakes are premeditated. You know what I mean? Like, you think about it and you would say to somebody like, "Why are you making that type of mistake?" And you had time to think about it. But then other mistakes are on the fly. You don't think about it. Mine was meditated. I had time. I knew for a whole week I was going to drive that car up there to take my test. And not one time did it enter my brain that I'm driving illegal to go up here to take my test at 16, 17 years old, whatever it was. Not one time did it cross my brain that it was not right. Not one time. But I don't like the Zoom court. I don't like it. I think that it's too evidential. I think there's too much that can hurt you. Unless it's something really petty. But if you look at a driving under suspension charge, this is about as petty as it can possibly get. I'm not suggesting that it's not a wrongdoing on his behalf, but it's not the thing that's, it's not detrimental to society. It's not that. He just made a mistake. He made a mistake because he's probably not used to getting in trouble. Think about that. Most people who are not used to getting in trouble don't really make a lot of mistakes like that. This was a mistake. This was he was just not in the right zone. Now, if he was a dude that drove with suspended license all the time, drove with fictitious tags and bad tags and all that old shit, that would have never happened to him because they'd be on their P's and Q's about shit. That would not have happened to him. But in my opinion, I think the dude is a good guy. I think he ran into a situation where he got his license suspended for whatever reason, and he's not used to dealing with the courts. I think that he just made a mistake. He made a mistake that easily is done by someone that's just not visiting the courts that often. I'm not trying to give him an excuse. I'm just being a common thinker. I just believe that's the case. I know for a fact, if he was the type of individual that was in trouble all the time, that would have never happened to him. Let's go to the phone lines. Maybe someone thinks something different. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, good afternoon. It's Fame Rothstein.
Fame. I ain't talked to Fame in a long time. I didn't talk to Faith and Pat and Peef and all this old other stuff, but I ain't talked to Fame in a minute. What's good with you?
Oh, I was doing well till the show started. I mean, you came out shitting on Drop. You know, that's my man's in them.
Your man's ain't shit. Your man's just ain't. He's nothing to me. He's dead to me.
Okay.
Get to it. Don't come in here defending Drop. Next caller. Let's go. Let's move on. I'm just kidding.
Drop don't need me to defend him. He defended this country for your ass.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But anyway, he was an MP. So if he was defending the country, okay, God bless him. But he was an MP. He was the boys. He was the police, Fame. Now you keep on.
Right.
Keep on defending him.
He was, when they was making those refugees, grab each other's ass and stick their ass on each other in them pictures. He was, the one, arresting soldiers.
What the hell? What?
When they those people down at Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, okay, I get it now. All right. What's on your mind, Drop? What's happening? I'm not Drop. I'm sorry, Fame. What's on your mind, brother?
Well, I'm here to blow up the negative so that the people can see the bigger picture.
Okay,
on this brother with the driving suspension. First of all, it's on several websites, including they're all reputable, including Scripps news service that this was a clerical error.
Okay.
His license was not suspended.
Okay. Did he act like his license wasn't suspended to you?
And that's part B of it. He didn't act like it because I think he's been in trouble before and he knew to just be quiet. Don't say nothing in court. There's nothing they're going to do about it right there in the moment. So just be quiet. It'll work himself out. People who've been to jail, been to court a lot, they know, don't say shit. It'll work itself out.
Okay. I mean, if that's the impression you get from it, Fame, okay. I mean, maybe you see something I don't see, but I think that an individual who is riding around with his license suspended, everybody that's riding with license suspended, they know it. Majority of them. I'm not going to say everybody, because you could get your license suspended through points in your insurance company, and maybe you didn't get the letter through the mail or something didn't get to you. But most people who are in court about suspended license and their cases are pending, they pretty much know they on a suspended license.
Right. And this guy, like I said, he's been through. That's what makes me think he's been in trouble. Pardon me. That's what makes me think he's been in trouble before, because he knew. It's just like with these people who get arrested get pulled over by the police and try to plead their case on the roadside. And they end up getting killed.
Yeah.
By the cops because they doing too much. People who've been in trouble before, they know. You don't plead your case on the roadside.
No, that's kind of foolish. It's not. I said you're right. That's kind of foolish. It's not going to turn out well for you.
Yeah, and so this guy knew. Okay, the judge done made his mind up. He saw where it was going, and he just realized, like, look, I ain't gonna do nothing. I know I ain't done nothing wrong. That's why he had that look on his face, like, what? What are these people talking about?
That wasn't that look, Fame. I'm sorry.
In hindsight, it is.
That's
when you try to make jokes about it, yeah, that's not that low on that. But when you see that that this was done 2 years ago and his license suspension should have been taken care of, you see that that's what the look is about. Like, what is this judge talking about? And a lot of times, a lot of these colored judges are, they ain't no different.
Colored judges?
Yeah, these colored. Yeah, that dude's colored. He's old as fuck. He's, I bet his birth certificate says Negro.
Oh my God, Fame, what is wrong with you, brother?
trust me, I dealt with it was a guy, he just died recently, in like the last 5 years ago.
That judge is not that old.
He was a judge for the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals, the Federal Sixth Circuit of Appeals. He's from Michigan. He old as dirt. He was like 90 something, and he acted like a white guy.
What is acting like a white guy, Fame?
Just niggas just don't trust him, and this judge probably has a reputation. For Negroes don't trust him. There are some judges like that. Like even white guys too. Like take Norbert Nader. You gonna talk shit to Norbert Nader? Once he start talking, you know what it's gonna be. So just let him say his piece and let me get out of here. You know what I'm saying? He probably was thinking like, damn, okay, I gotta turn myself in. Let me go call some people. Set up some arrangements to come get me and go find my paperwork to show that this some bullshit. Props to that man for handling that very professionally. Why are you dissing him?
Fame.
No, why you dissing him?
I'm not dissing you, brother.
Again, we're blowing
man.
up the negatives to see the bigger picture.
Listen, man, I actually gave the man an out. Did you not hear my commentary on what I thought about him? You said just the opposite of what I said. You said that he's just in trouble all the time. I said that he sounded to me
I didn't say all the time. I said he's probably been in trouble before.
Oh, well,
I didn't say all the time.
Yeah, he probably has when it come down to something like this. But there's a difference between, look, I've seen people that have driver's license that are fake, driver's license that are suspended. And that was the reaction that I got out of his facial expression. It wasn't, I can't wait to get the court to clean this shit up because I got him. No, because number one, when the bench warrant, when the bond was, he was obviously out on an OR. So when the judge canceled his OR, when he canceled his bond, when he revoked it or whatever, he could have stepped up and said something at that time and said, Your Honor, I think that's a mistake. I don't think that this case, you're not going to fight your case on Zoom, obviously, but it wouldn't hurt for you to say, well, Your Honor, I don't think that the charges are accurate and I should be able to drive right now. You can't say that because if you
they're not going to clear up a clerical error on Zoom. That's going to take some time and man hours, for them to do that. They'll have it cleared up by your next court appearance.
But Fame, there's still a court order that he can't drive, regardless if it's a mistake or not. It's a court order in the system saying that he can't drive, and he knew he couldn't drive. He knew he couldn't drive.
Messed up they messed up 2 years ago, and they put this man in peril for 2 years because people have been killed by cops getting pulled over for a suspended license. Ask the brother in Minnesota.
Okay, you're veering off the point. I don't even understand why.
I'm not veering off the point.
Sure,
I'm blowing up the negatives so you can see the bigger picture. This guy could have been killed.
He could have been
because of a clerical error. Somebody pulls him over, talking about his license suspended. Oh, what are you talking about? What are you talking back to an officer? Bow.
Oh, Fame.
Blew his shit up.
All right. Anything else, Fame?
Could that not have happened? I mean, the fact of the matter is Wyatt, if you look at the internet right now and do a little research, as you always like to say, you would see you're wrong on this, and you would apologize to that man. You'd apologize to people you make the people who try to get them jokes off on this guy apologize. This guy's done nothing wrong.
He's done absolutely nothing wrong.
He was a citizen in court. He was a citizen.
He did absolutely nothing wrong.
All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the shit, and and work and let the process work its way out. They messed up. You're wrong on this one. I'm sorry, bro. You're gonna have to bite the bullet on it. I'm sorry.
You're absolutely right. I'm wrong. You're right. The dude did everything he was supposed to do. He showed good faith by even opening up the Zoom appearance. He did everything he was supposed to do. The only thing he forgot not to do was to show that he was driving. That's it.
The only thing he forgot to do was to make sure that what became a clerical error was taken care of 2 years ago, by making sure that I do everything I was supposed to do. Am I legal now? He just took faith into the system and thought that they were doing what they were supposed to do.
Fame,
we're not going to clown this man.
Fame.
We cannot do that. This brother did what he was supposed to do, and he's getting wrong. And now he's a national laughing stock. over something that's apparently the court's mistake. It's all over the internet. Go look it up, bro.
What is the internet going to tell me in this case? That he had license, his license was not currently suspended?
Well, no, it's just going to show that the first 20 minutes of today's episode of your show are kind of
so is it about him? Is it wait a minute, hold
bad
on.
intentions?
Oh no, shit. So let me ask you something. Is it about what he did or is it about what I'm doing?
Well, for you to be a newsman, I would like for you to give out some proper information.
I'm not a newsman.
Newsman, podcaster, whatever you want to call this.
I did not broadcast any news. And here go the thing. I didn't say or talk about this any different than anybody else. Matter of fact, I gave the man an out. I ain't heard nobody give him an out other than you, and your out is crazy than a motherfucker. I'm just being honest with you.
Accurate, though.
No, your out ain't shit to me.
Go look on
bro,
scripts.
your out ain't shit to me. That sound crazy as hell, and I'm gonna be the first one to
It's
tell
on
you.
The internet.
Nobody else will tell you the truth about your take on this shit. You sound crazy
Look
as
it
hell.
up, man.
I'm gonna look up. I'm looking at the evidence. I'm listening to what the court said. Bro, are you finished? Are you finished? You finished defending this? Bro, stop it, fam. Stop, bro. Stop. You sound crazy. I appreciate you know what? Let me just say this to you.
You put your toe in the water and found out the water found out that the water is freezing cold.
Hold on. I gotta give you some props though, okay? I gotta give a shout out to Fame Rothstein. I gotta say this to all my jailhouse lawyers. If you ever want a good jailhouse lawyer, hit Fame Rothstein up. He can turn an argument around and make it any narrative you need it to be. Hit Fame Rothstein up. I'm sure that he would get you all the time you have coming. Sorry, Fame. That's all I can say to you, brother. Anything else before I move on?
That was hateful.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I gotta be hateful.
I did not deserve that.
You didn't.
I was trying to protect our brother and show the type of shit that could have happened to him because of the clerical mistake by the courts. Accept it, Wyatt. That's all. The court made a mistake.
Yes, they did, and he made a mistake as well. And mistakes.
And you're compounding the mistake by giving out false information. That's all.
All right. Well, you know what, Flame.
I had a good time.
Mark one up on your side as a winning argument. You won this one, brother.
It's not about a winning argument. I'm just trying to help you. That's all.
Okay, well, thanks for the help, Fame.
Maybe you were not privy to that information, but yeah, I was, and I just had to help you out.
Fame, we'll holler.
Yes, sir.
We'll holler at you. Go and holler.
Indeed. Ow.
There you go. That's the way to do it. That's Fame engaging with some crazy shit. I don't know what that was. He said that the brother's license wasn't really suspended. Gotcha, Wyatt. His license wasn't suspended. It was a clerical error. Gotcha, Wyatt. They love to get me. Even when it don't make any sense, they love to get me. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
It's Tracy. I'm on my lunch break, and I got 5 minutes.
Okay, well, listen. You sure you want to come in here for your lunch break? I don't want you sick. I don't want you messed up for your lunch.
Order my food because you talking. Hold on.
Oh, shit. No. Supervisor just walked in.
You clowning. Hold on, I want to tell you something. Don't hang up because you know somebody else is going to call.
All right, go ahead.
Talk to your audience real quick.
Go ahead. Put it on hold. I got you. That's Tracy on hold, y'all. I don't know. Fame sound crazy. I have no rebuttal to that. It was nonsense. What am I supposed to say to that shit Fame just said? I have no idea. I'm going to have to send... I got Tracy on hold, guys. I don't want to... I gave her my word that I would answer the call. But hold on 1 second. Let me see if she's still there. Give me 1 second.
I'm still...
Okay, you still there, T?
Yep,
she's still. You ready, or you want me to move on? Keep going.
Just give me 2 seconds.
All right, take your time. All right, I'm gonna keep Tracy on hold real fast. Couple things in local news, and then I'll get to Tracy.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm gonna have to run. I'm sorry, audience. I'm so sorry.
No.
Y'all know this ain't my show.
Everybody know you crazy as hell, sis. Let's go.
They doing too much at this McDonald's, but listen.
Oh, that's McDonald's. I thought you was at work.
I am. I said I'm on my lunch break.
Oh, I thought you was in the in the little cook room. Or
come on, from my phone cut out, and then you have another joke.
God,
listen.
Go ahead.
You caught those driving instructors in Seven Hills on the right day. And I'm gonna tell you why. I was there one time in real time. I was there in real time one time, sitting down waiting for my son to take his driver's test. He told the lady to go out and stand by the car. She's so damn excited. This isn't even a teenager. This is a full-fledged adult. She ran out, ran to the car, drove up like she was some damn valet dropping the car off. And he looked at her. He said, "I didn't tell you to get in that car." And she was like, "Well, I mean, we're getting ready to go out." He said, "You're not a licensed driver." He struck a line straight through her paper and told her, "I'll see you tomorrow."
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, sis. I was told by several people that I got off, like I jumped that off, and like you said, I caught him on a good day because the dude up there. Do you remember the big dude, muscle guy that used to run that? He didn't run it, but he was one of the test givers, the road test guy. That brother looked mean as hell. He looked like a drill sergeant from the military. And
he should be retired by now, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's probably gone. That was 20-something, 30 years. That had to be 30 years ago. So I'm sure he's not doing the job now. Maybe he is. Maybe he's not. If not, I know he ain't up there looking Jock Diesel these days, not 35 years later. But that all being said, I heard several times how I must have been crazy for going up there doing that because them guys evil as hell up there. That's what I was told. But they were nice as hell to me. That guy was nice. He was hell. He could have marked me. He could have even called the police on me. He could have set me up. He could have called the police as soon as I drove out with that with my failed test. He knew I had to drive home, but I stayed up there a whole hour, went through the line, Tracy, to get my license and everything. I stayed that same day. You feel me? Like I got my license, passed the test, and left with an ID, a driver's license. It was cool.
You put a number 1 for me, please? Okay. Yeah. Hey, let me tell you what else happened while I was there.
Hold on. Give me a number 7, no onions.
You know what? Stop it. Let me tell you something. My son, and this ain't to put him on blast, but it was funny, but it wasn't funny. And they deserve to tell him to come back the next day. My son just couldn't get the maneuverability down or whatever. That's understandable. I failed it my first time. He goes up to this same Seven Hills spot, gets in the car with the instructor. Now, he didn't have the mean one, the nice one. But my son backed out of a parking space. And my husband tried to blame it on me because we drove him up there, but I didn't pull in the space. There was a car in front of him, so he had to back out. When he backed out, he hit a car. Oh, the day of the
Who hit a car? Your son?
My son.
Okay.
He didn't put a scratch on it, but he just tapped it. You know, he backed into the car. And they failed him that day, and he was just so distraught. He didn't want to do the license no more. He was just over it. But
say he hit a car, didn't make no mark.
Luckily, he didn't get that tall big man that's mean up there. Because I'm telling you, there's something wrong with that dude. But he did get a nice guy. But that girl did exactly what you did. She ran up there, she got in her car, and she drove up to the front door to pick him up. And he was like, "Nah, boo, you gonna take this tomorrow." The whole place in there laughed.
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to say about this guy. I have not laughed at a video so hard in my damn life. The shit
what you
was
talking
funny
about, the
to me.
driver?
I don't care what Fame says. Fame know I love him, but that was funny. None of us knew that he had this problem already resolved, and it was the court's fault, and he should have had his license for 2 years. But for you to jump in a car, and you're going to court and you're driving, I'm like, are you dumb or are you stupid? That was my first reaction to the whole video. But I'm glad it's all resolved or whatever. But I still, if I see it now, I still laugh. It's just funny to me that he jumped in that car like that and turned his camera on, was like, just give me 1 minute.
Yeah. Actually, I'm just making my turn in. Actually, I'm just about to park. Actually, I'm standing still. Dude was crazy. But now, sis, let me ask you something. You say you watched the video a few times, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now let me ask you this. I'm not even going to go off Fame's logic and his argument. But now let me ask you this. When you watched that man's reaction, the guy that was driving, did anything tell you clerical error from his face or his emotions or anything? Did anything tell you that, like, he was being done wrong? Didn't it look like on his face?
What he told me was, he said in his head, what the F was I thinking? That's what I saw in his face.
So, I mean, is it possible it was a clerical error? Yes. Okay. But where's the argument? Number one, I mean, I don't even want to debate this with anyone. I mean, to be honest with you, it's obvious that the man even thought himself he was in trouble. He's out on a
Right.
current OR bond for driving without a license. Okay.
Right.
And I don't know if the charge, I'll be honest, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know if the charge was driving without a license or driving under suspension of a license. I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head, but either way, both of those charges disallow you to drive while a case is pending. And your defense, your public defender is there answering the questions to the judge.
Even she was stunned. I was just like this. I mean, I laughed hysterically. I was just like, dude, like what were you thinking? I couldn't get that out of my head.
Yeah.
Like I just kept playing it over and over, like, just give me 1 second.
Exactly.
And he's full, like if you do that at some jobs won't even allow you to be on Zoom and be driving. They want you to pull over or they'll just say get off the damn call. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was funny to me. If I saw it today, even knowing that he's okay, I'm still laughing at it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Like I said, man, I don't think that he's the type of guy that get in a lot of trouble, okay? Because that's an easy mistake to make if you're not accustomed to dipping from the law. You're not accustomed to having your license suspended and you're driving on, fictitious license and plates and stuff like that. That's the mistake that somebody would make that's just not used to being in trouble to me. I don't think criminals who are on a regular routine of ducking the law, they don't make that type of mistake. They would have never answered the Zoom. They wouldn't have clicked into the Zoom. They'd have took a bench warrant for not appearing in court before they answered it while they were committed. That's like robbing a bank and answering your cell phone, putting somebody on FaceTime, and it's your probation officer. And you in the bank with a gun and you robbing the bank and your PO sitting there watching you do it. To me, it's the same shit. It's the same equivalent.
Even the jokes that came on the comments, like, so is he gonna drive himself to jail? I mean, that was the laugh that I needed for the weekend. I was just like, oh my God.
Hey, it's all the way out in California, sis. I was out there and people was laughing at it out there too. It is what it is. We all need a laugh sometimes. Sometimes it come at the expense of others, and sometimes it's at our expense. So it's like that,
right?
Right. All right, sis, go and get your lunch in. Did you get my number 7? No onions?
I put it on there.
I'll holler at you. That mean no. All right, talk to you.
Bye.
Talk to you. Thanks, Tracy. That's Tracy engaging with us. All right, so look, man, it's not the end of the world. All right, the guy gonna show up. He probably will turn himself in or did turn himself in before 6 o'clock. What's the big deal? If he doesn't do it, the judge said that his bond, he will have a bench warrant with 0 bond. I'm sure he probably showed up and they gave him probably another OR or something small where he posted maybe $1,000 bond, which would be 10% or 10% of $1,000, which is $100, just because he did some meathead type of stuff. And they probably worked it out, whatever. Not a big deal. I just don't think that it's, I think it's more comical than it is serious. It's not like I said, if he was a guy that was on probation and his PO called him and he put his PO on FaceTime and told him to hold on. Meanwhile, he's robbing Fifth Third Bank. Like, hey, man, look, let me put the money in the bag. And PO can see everything. That would be a different argument. But in this case, man, it's very easy to do something like that because what you're trying to do, you're actually trying to do the right thing. Think about it. He answered that Zoom, or he actually locked into that Zoom call because he had good intentions. He had good intentions of getting this thing over and done with, in my opinion. Because if he was hiding and trying to duck it and all that old stuff, why would he answer the phone? He's just not an experienced criminal. All right. That's just my opinion. Because guys like that, they wouldn't make that type of mistake. I mean, he actually talked and said a lot of stuff, and the whole courtroom was amazed. They were just in awe, like, oh, I can't believe this. But that all being said, you'll be surprised how easy something like that is to happen. It's just that when you have things like Zoom going on now, people can capture those moments. I've seen people go into court on a domestic violence charge and seen a young lady who will stand in front of the judge and say, when the charges are read of what the young man did or whatever to her the prior night, they'll read off all those charges. She signed the police report or the 527, and she said all of this stuff. And then the very next day, she'll stand up in front of the court and say, none of that happened. But they have a signed statement here saying that he drug you down the steps, then he kicked you and you knocked over the fireplace or the fire thing. You did this, you did that. Then he took the kid. He did this, he did that. And Miss Williams, you said he did all of this. This is what you said he did. And then you know what she'll say? Well, it wasn't that bad. He did it, but it wasn't all like that. He didn't do all like that. And no, I don't fear for my life. To me, that's the same thing. You show up to court the night prior, you done said everything to the police to lock his ass up, whether it's true or not. Let's just be honest. Whether you're telling the truth to the police officers, you signed an affidavit. You said, this man did this man did that, and blah, blah, blah. You told the court that. So there we go. Jerica said, how's that compared? It's not really compared. I'm not really comparing it. I'm just showing you how people can be foolish when they get in front of a court. I'm just telling you that how people can actually say one thing or do one thing, and then when they get in front of a court, they just totally fold up. Like, you showed up to court, you didn't think you were going to be asked these questions? So yeah, I mean, it's easy. Just like him answering the phone or calling into the Zoom when he's supposed to not, when he shouldn't be driving. I mean, to me, it's the same thing. It's the same type of slip, same type of mistake. I won't say that it's all innocent, but I will say it's kind of like you didn't really think about what you were doing before you actually did what you did. That's why it's relevant to me. Let's see here. DC says social media just blew it up and made him look dumb. That's why I say he needs to capitalize on it while he's hot. Well, what are you gonna do? Put a T-shirt out with his face on it, or what are you gonna? Maybe he can get on a talk show. I ain't gonna pay him nothing to come over here and talk to us. I mean, maybe he can do that with somebody that'll get some clicks or something. But I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he made an innocent mistake. I think that I can't reinforce it even further. I just think he's not used to getting in trouble. And a guy who's used to getting in trouble all the time would have never made a mistake like that. Now, do I know his criminal record? Nah, I really don't. But I just don't think that he was a troublemaker. I don't think he's the type of guy that would get in trouble like that. All right. So look, let me move on. Let me go to the phone lines real fast before I move on. Maybe someone has something else on that. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
What's up, Wyatt? Steve.
Steve, what's good with you, man? Long time no talk.
How you doing, brother?
I'm
still laughing about that, man. Because I heard Fame, but come on, Fame. Knock it off, man. Dude, he didn't object. He didn't. When the judge said that, and his attorney. So he knew he was wrong. He felt he was wrong. He got caught. He thought about it. Like, damn.
Yeah, he knew. He was crazy.
I know I'm going suspended for no license, and I'm driving and answering the Zoom call. Come on now. Knock it off. It don't matter if it was a clerical error or Jesus Christ made a mistake for once and ever in history. Dude knew he was wrong. The attorney knew he was wrong. Nobody had no recourse. They never objected. He never said, hey, Your Honor, this is a clerical error. This is taken care of. Well, his lawyer did. So it is what it is.
Well, he had a pending matter that he was
all these hypotheticals that could have been or what of that. If I knew what the number's going to be tonight, I'd be rich.
That's true.
But I'm going to say this to you.
Yep.
Did you see the video where the cop killed a guy's son, innocently? And then the guy, they had a graduation. I believe it was a graduation. But the bottom line, he went and he killed the cop's daughter in front of him.
Well, we did a show on that. I think we talked about on Friday.
You did?
Yeah.
I think it's just how. Yeah. Okay, it happened Friday. Okay, I didn't know if you seen it or not. I missed that.
No. What happened was, and we did a show on it. We don't know how true that story is. Okay, and the reason being is because they're saying that it was AI generated, and they're saying it was AI generated and it was a made up story. I put it on my website and coming soon to Wyatt Live for a reason. I did it because I wanted to show. I wanted to know why would someone put that out there, even if it's not, whether if it's true or if it's not true. I dispute it. I don't know how. I don't think it's true. All right, because when you do the research on it, and if you look into the city that they're claiming this happened, you don't hear, they're debunking the story, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? They're debunking. They're saying it never happened. It's not true. But basically, what happened is one man, his son was shot and killed innocently by a police officer. They're claiming, and he was reaching for his insurance. The police officer shot and killed him while he was reaching for his insurance. The police officer evidently got off, and the man he went revenge on him. Okay, his daughter, the police officer's daughter, was at prom or something like that, getting out of a limo, and the man shot the daughter of the police officer and screamed out, "Eye for an eye," and waited for the police. Now, I don't think it happened, but I think that that's something that could happen. I mean, but my thing is, if it didn't happen, I mean, why are we talking about it? You see what I'm saying? Who put that out there to create that narrative?
The only thing that gets me with this one is that they actually gave names. The police officer's name, his picture, his profile.
That's easy to do. That's easy to do. That's easy
well,
to do.
That's true. This AI is out of control, man. I mean, that's what that actor's strike was about. They're using the actor's images and voice, but it's not really them in the movies now. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They playing God. That just read a story the other day where now they can detach a person's head and attach it on a different body.
Oh my goodness.
Like if your body has elements and somebody died, can donate their head. Literally, this is ridiculous. And this is going to be going on in the hospital. They said in 8 years, if you have an ailment, you can actually go get a new head. And it says that your brain will still be able to control the new body like never before. And they said now people will be able to live over 100 years old. This is ridiculous, man. What the hell is going on?
Shit sounds crazy to me. But now let me tell you something.
God.
Let me tell you something that's real, though. Let me tell you something that's real. I was watching 60 Minutes some time ago, and there was an Asian man who was into the tech world, and he was telling them in 2019, they were saying that AI will be so powerful that in 15 years, 40% of the jobs in America won't, in the world, but I'm only worried about America right now. 40% of the jobs in America will not be necessary. That frontline jobs, certain jobs, you know what I'm saying? 40% of the workforce will not be needed because of AI. And I'm watching it in real time, Steve, because when I went out to Phoenix, Arizona, you can be driven around by cars that are self-driven. Your pizza can come to you without a driver. There's restaurants you can go into. I mean, Phoenix, Arizona is like the tech Disneyland. Okay,
it's a test market of a lot of stuff as well. You're right.
Yes, in the tech world for sure. You can go out there and walk in a pizza joint and not have any engagement with a person. There might be one guy working there just in case something falls off or something happens. But there's not a small person at the front, a young girl taking your order, and then 3 guys in the back making your pizza. There's one handler in the entire store, and everything else is automated. It's AI. It's all these, it's just robots and stuff like that are making your pizza from start to finish. You don't even talk to the human being. You punch in what you want on your pizza like you do on a website, on an app. They put it into the screen and it goes back there. You watch the process of them making the pizza, the AI, the compute, the robot makes the pizza.
This is crazy,
and
man.
It takes it up and puts it on the oven. It does everything. And then the robot arm comes back, picks the pizza up out of the oven, puts it down. There's a cutter thing. See what I'm saying? Now they're telling us in 15 years, and this was in 2019, they're actually running ahead of schedule. They're saying 40% of the workforce will not be necessary in the States. You understand what I'm saying, Steve? So my question to everyone is, what are our children? What are our children and our grandchildren going to do, and their kids going to do, if AI and this technology continues to grow as fast as it's growing? Truck drivers, all of that will be gone. They have self-driving trucks now. All those jobs will be gone. What are we going to do? You see what I'm saying?
Man, Daryl Carpenter on your thing just said something that's very profound. He said that's why he's guiding. That's why people should guide their kids into the robotics field.
Absolutely.
Daryl, he's onto something there.
Absolutely.
That's one of the best comments I've seen.
Well,
that's real talk.
It's true. I mean, you got to look at the fact that you can't go to school these days to do something that's gonna be replaced. I mean, it's true. I mean, you could go to school and be replaced, but I'm talking about. I mean, think about this, Steve. I'm gonna say, if you look at the economy today, you look at the people that are coming into the country today. Those are a lot of frontline workers. Those are a lot of people that some people gonna be competing against. We got to make up our mind. Are we gonna be great? Are we gonna be better? Or are we just gonna say that this is what we're gonna do and we just gonna fight for the best job? You understand what I'm saying?
Well, and it's unfortunate. A lot of people they take it as a joke. Like this Emmanuel guy talking about. I saw a story that kind of like it's people like that, man. It's gonna be the ones that get whopped across the head with this technology when it takes
What'd you
place
say?
for real.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
This is real. Like somebody wrote a comment. I saw a story that said that in the future, Skyler is going to send robots in the past to kill John Connor.
Oh yeah, okay, it's cool.
Obviously this guy thinks it's a joke, man. But the joke gonna be on him. When this shit really take place and this shit go down, these guys is out here these clowns out here with all these little crazy ass comments. I'm telling you, man, this shit is real. People in Michigan, the automotive industry, they lost their jobs. They're losing their jobs and getting forced into early retirement because of this AI technology, man. This is real. They're replacing humans, man. This is no joke. And people joking about it just for me. They idiots, man. This is no joking matter here, but this is real stuff.
I mean, I honestly believe that 40% of the workforce could be replaced. Because if you look at the way that technology is not just working things that we wake up to and we see every day. Technology is actually running things like in the farm industry. It's hurting farmers. It's hurting a lot of different things. Man. You see what I'm saying? It's hurting a lot of different areas where people have for decades and in generations, their families have had farms and things like that. And now they're losing these businesses because they can't keep up with the tech end of the competition. And I mean, we talking about $15 an hour, and now you got McDonald's and Burger King and all those other people going robotic. And now you can, okay, yeah, you had a nice little run with $15 an hour minimum wage, but now they're investing $200,000, $250,000 to have their stores upgraded to AI.
And it pay for itself in 2-3 years because they can get rid of 12 workers.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Kroger. Kroger has it where now, here's the only thing that's going to save Kroger. If people still keep going in there stealing and they have to check receipts. Okay, because now they got to open up the lines because people stealing shit. But to be honest with you, bro, that's only gonna last for so long. They're gonna have these self-checkout lanes all the way down the counters, and then they only gonna have to position 1 or 2 people that's gonna stand at the door and just make sure everybody's receipt is cool. Or are they gonna keep the camera on?
They're gonna have an armed robot at the door.
Yeah, but my suggestion to everyone would be, get your kids into something that's going to be tech related. I mean, that's just my opinion.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And then you got to get them geared up. I think our school systems need to go in that route as well, because if we're not prepping kids to go into the tech field, all we're prepping them to do is to you're either going to be a consumer, you're either going to be a buyer or a seller. That's you know what I'm saying. It's just 2 different people. Right. There's 2 people in this world. You got buyers and you have sellers. What are you raising? Are you raising somebody that's going to, not be on the receiving end of pulling their money out of their pocket all the time, or are you going to be somebody that's going to be selling something and getting ready for this new world that's coming? All you got to do is go somewhere. Go out to Phoenix, Arizona, and whatever you don't believe that I'm talking about right now.
Well, that's the test market for all this.
And they're not doing it for nothing. They're not out there with all that tech stuff out there showing it off. And pretend they're not doing that for nothing. All right. It's a movement. And whether we like it or not, it's coming.
All right, my brother. Wow.
Yeah. Anything else, Steve?
No, that's it, my brother. I just want to comment. That was a funny video.
You sent me something.
I did.
Oh, okay. I see what it is. It was about the guy, the story that you were just talking about. About the guy.
No, it was another one. I don't know if anybody else saw it, but the guy was a stepfather, man, and there's a lot going on with stepdads, man. That's a topic that should be discussed at some point.
I remember that. We'll do something on that. It's the stepfather who bought all his kids' graduation stuff in the household and did everything he was supposed to do. He was
his daughter. It was his daughter. It's 2. One was the daughter, and she was graduating, and everything. He paid for education, paid everything. They had graduate. He moved them in his home with his girlfriend and her kid, and she was having to graduate in his house. And he wanted to invite 12 people. They was having a 250 people invited, and he said he gave a list of 12 people, and himself made 13. And he was asking all his friends, "Are you guys gonna be there? Gonna be there? They be where?" They said, "We never got an invitation." So he asked his girlfriend, "Did you get my 12 people?" "No, we didn't have enough room." Well, hold on. I'm walking the dice, and wait a minute. Her dad gonna walk the dice out, her biological father, who hasn't been in her life at all. Okay, so now he's walking down the aisle. Dude done did all this for him, and she didn't even put the 12 people he had on the list, man. She said there wasn't enough room at his house in his backyard.
That's
It's
crazy.
stepdad now. So it's a movement about stepdads. And that dude, Kevin Sanders, that's his name. He had been warning guys about this man forever. Stepdads get stepped on, and then there's another one where the girl, and she had 3 kids, he moved them in, and he was setting her stuff out on the line. He was asking God to forgive him. He had the video to show that he wouldn't damage her stuff, and he was like, "God forgive me, she don't want to work. She don't want to support it. She dropped the kids off at her mother's, go hang out." A friend of his wife had a company and was willing to hire her to answer the phone and pay her $20 an hour, 40 hours a week. And she looked at him and said, "Man, when I look like I answer the phone for no damn body for no $20 an hour, but she don't have the job, period."
Okay.
This is crazy, man. What's going on? But he raising her 3 kids, her in his home. She don't cook for him. She won't clean. He's picking up the kids, and he showed the room that stuff everywhere, man. And she was out partying. It's crazy.
We get who we
I
pick.
don't know, man.
We pick who we want. I was just saying, you get what you. Hey, he picked her. That's all I can say. I mean, he picked her. I don't have no. Listen,
man.
bro. He probably loved her to death. He loved them kids, and they didn't did him that kind of way. And
Wyatt, he should not have ate that spaghetti, bro.
I guess
He shouldn't have ate that spaghetti she cooked. I'm done, bro.
All right, man. I'll talk to you.
I'll let you, brother. All right, bro.
That's Steve engaging. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. But I don't believe in stepfathers. But it's dirty, it's rotten. That a stepfather would pay. From what I'm hearing, Steve said that this stepfather did all this stuff for the daughter, got her everything for for graduation and things of that nature. And they had a graduation party, and they only had room for 250 guests. And in those 250 guests, the stepfather only had 13 people that he wanted to come. Now, he didn't pay all his money. It's at his house, and mom don't have a job and all this old stuff, so he's paying for everything. And then when it's time for his guests to come, he reaches out to them saying, "Hey, you guys coming? Didn't get your RSVP." And they said, "What RSVP? We didn't receive anything." And he's saying, "What do you mean?" So the mom and the daughter are like, "We don't have room." Her real father's people, the man who's never done anything for her, other than I guess he brought her in the world. If that's enough, I don't know. But ladies, I wouldn't look if I'm your baby daddy, or if I'm the stepfather. Y'all know I'm real. I don't like stepfather. I know that might be a little funny for some people. I believe that a man who loves a woman and takes on her children is a daddy. It's a dad. Okay, I don't believe in stepfather. I believe it's a dad because he's doing dad duties. He's in that child's life. He's taking care of that child on a day-to-day basis. He's feeding that child. He's sending that kid to school. He's doing the things that a father is supposed to do for a child. And then here come the real daddy. Here come the father, the birth father, who's never done anything. And he gets priority because this is his child. I think you lost priority when you left the child or when you didn't do anything for the child. I think that it's kind of wrong. But let me just say this to you before people judge me for that. I've said that before. And I got a lot of flack for saying that, fathers that are not engaged in their children's lives gave up the right to be called father, dad, or whatever. That's just my opinion. I think stepfathers are necessary. I don't call them stepfathers, but for argument's sake, I'll call them stepfathers. I think stepfathers are necessary, and I think that stepfathers need a special day. I don't want them to be. I just think they need a special day, stepfather day. Yeah, because to be honest with you, I've never done it before, so I can only speak for those. I'm not even speaking for those that have done it. I've dated a girl when I was younger who had a child, and I knew like this is not probably who I'm going to be with. This is probably not, I was young. We were young, but it take a special man. I'm sorry, ladies, you may not agree with me on this. It take a special man to not only date you, but to be dating your kids. To not only love you, but to love your children. And I mean, that's just coming from my perspective. I've never really had to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a guy who had a bunch of kids and now other guys are taking care of my kids, nor have I been with a woman that has a bunch of kids from other men or a man, and I'm taking care of that. I'm not suggesting that there's anything wrong with it. I'm saying to you guys, if you no, and you know what? That shouldn't be so damn one-sided. If you are a single mother and have a man that's taking care of you and your children, he's a special guy. He's a special guy. Now, let me put it on both sides. If you're a single father and you have a woman in your life that's taking care of you as a man and taking care of the children and being a mother and a wife, whatever, significant other, if they're willing to take on your daughter, your son, bro, she is a keeper. It take a special person to take on somebody else's children. It take a certain type of heart. And if they're doing it, if they're doing it for real, if they're doing it with passion and concern, and they really love this stepchild, so they call it, that's a special person to me. That's a special person to me. And to be honest with you, the only thing that I find wrong with a situation like that, and here I go with being messy, I'm sorry, but I guess I don't have to be, but I got to make it make sense for some people. The one dude that I don't like in a situation like that is guys that take care of other kids better than they take care of their own. I got an issue with a dude like that. And I'm sure there's some ladies right now that are co-signing that shit like right now. Ain't too many guys that'll agree with me, but there's some ladies right now that know she got 2 kids with this dude, but he over there with this one lady, and she got 3 kids, and he over there taking care, he paying all the water bill, the heat, gas, and electric, taking care of everything, and she can't even get no child support from him. That type of motherfucker right there, excuse my language, but that's what bring that out in me. That type of individual right there, I just can't respect that. I can't respect that. I've known a few of those people in my life. It's being totally selfish that you want so much to be like, I'm not necessarily a product of it, but some of it is. So maybe I'm biased. Maybe I have a negative towards that type of guy because my father was kind of like that. My father had multiple kids. Y'all know the routine. Multiple kids, but he ended up with one particular woman who had multiple kids, but they were all by him. And he took care of his family, but didn't take care of all his other kids. So it's not fair for me to just be mad at a guy like that. But just so you all have a clear understanding of why I feel the way I feel, it's mainly because I've went through that myself, where I would watch stepbrothers and stepsisters get shit and him not pay attention to me. And that's the type of person that you grow up with. They have no impact in your life. And then you go off and be great. And now they want to holler out, that's my son that caught that touchdown. And no, it's not. It's not. I am not your son. You did absolutely nothing for me. And what we got to understand is, man, look, my mother, I know I've said this several times. I think Wyatt Live is getting old because I'm starting to repeat myself. But my mother never said anything bad about my father, my real father. Ladies that do that, please do that. Keep it up. Keep it up. Don't say anything bad about them dudes. Don't say a word bad. You know why? Because he's speaking for himself in the little bit of actions that he take in his child's life. You don't have to say anything. If your child asks you, well, where's my daddy? Why he don't come around and blah, blah, blah. Just say, hey, he's busy. He got some other things going on. You don't have to lie, because in his world, he is too busy. He do have other shit going on. But to be honest with you, just let the child grow up without the influence of how you feel about his father. My mother said she was no Angela Mayo or nothing like that, but my mother used to tell me she would drop dimes. She would drop gems on me sometime. And she told me one time, I lived in the Fay Apartments, and my father, who was supposed to come pick me up, he didn't show up. I know it sounds like one of them old ass stories, but some of us have been through that shit for real in life. He didn't show up. He was supposed to come pick me up, and he didn't show up. And my mother, I went in there and I said, well, Mom, what's up? I was 12 years old, right before my 13th birthday. I remember I had a birthday coming up and my father was going to come holler and blah, blah, blah. Not one time had my mother to that point ever said anything about, bad about my father. Now, all his partners, Vic and all these dudes that's from the streets, they all covered for my father. When my father was in jail down in Florida or in jail somewhere, they all told me he was on vacation. That's the old saying and shit. He on vacation. Well, when I'm young, you don't know any better. You really think he down in Florida living his best life on vacation. I didn't know that meant penitentiary. That all being said, one time when I was 12 years old and he was supposed to come get me, I finally asked my mama, stop bullshitting me. I didn't say it like that, of course. My mama would have knocked me out. But I said, Mom, why don't he ever come get me? And she finally broke it down to me. Now I'm 12. She said, listen, I've never said anything bad about your dad. I've never said anything bad about your daddy. And the reason why I haven't done that, Rand, is because I want you to have your perception of him. You don't need me to tell you all the things that he's doing for you or that he's not doing for you. And ladies, this is just coming from a guy like me. I'm just being honest with you. Sitting around talking bad about his father and this and this and this and that is not making him hate him or love him anymore. Okay. Matter of fact, you might not like what I'm about to say to you, but you might be reinforcing in your son's life that it's okay to be that way. If you let somebody grow up to have their own impression of someone, they'll feel the way they need to feel about somebody. But if you sitting around talking about how bad a motherfucker is or how this ain't right and this and that, he would over to Teresa and all that, then what you doing is saying it's okay to be that way. You just mad. But look, y'all created me. It was you was with him. You sitting there talking bad about somebody that you had engagements with and created me. And I think it was beautiful that my mother never talked bad about my father, because what she did is all those years, she allowed me to have my own impression of him instead of hammering one in my head. And I think I can't speak for women. Of course, every time I tell somebody what's coming out of a woman's mouth or out of their brain, y'all attack me. But you never really look at what I'm looking at from my perspective. As being a young man that was raised without a father, you never really listen and hear what that kid is actually going through. You're too busy trying to tell me how a woman feel, and you don't know. Okay, maybe I don't, but you know what I do know? I know what that child feel like. And I know that growing up, having the impression of my father on my own was more important than somebody hammering to me how he ain't shit. Because telling me he ain't shit and here's the reason why and all that, first thing come out of a reasonable kid or a common sense minded child is, you messed with him. He must not be that bad. Well, yeah, he fooled me. Okay, well, you easily fooled, Ma. You easily fooled. And some of them, we could say that a few times. If they have brothers and sisters that's going through the same thing, living in the same household. How many times you gonna get fooled, Mom? How many times you gonna get fooled, Dad? So, everybody live their own life and we choose to do what we do. But I'm just giving my impression of, because look, ladies, it works better. It worked better because you're not reinforcing bad behavior and you're raising smart children. You're raising a bright little boy to be able to have a perception of his own. And guess what? When we think of somebody as being good or bad, we want to be that. It's an impressionable feeling. We want to be that. Now, if I'm raising myself and my thoughts on my father and he's bad and he's not doing what he's supposed to do for me, then guess what? My impression is bad. Me wanting to be like him, nah, I'm not doing that. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like that. Because guess what, man? To be honest with you, some of us grow up knowing that the bad guys get all the girls, they get all the action, they get the attention. Some of us grow up looking that way. We know it. The flashy guys, the bad guys. The bad guys get all the shine. And then the good guys end up taking over. I hate to say this shit, but the bad guy do all the shit. And then guess who end up with all his shit? The stepfathers. The stepfathers, just like in this story that Steve was talking about. The stepfather is the good guy. And now he got to take up, he got to be in the position to take care of these kids that the bad guy wouldn't take care of. And it's weird. I mean, I'm not a Bible toting man. I've never really been that, but I know who's important in my life when it comes down to higher powers. And I'm not here to preach to you, but I will say this. I wish God would give me another life. I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels this way. But I wish that God gave me a reset button or gave me another life to go through, knowing all the things that I know now. And to be honest with you, some of the guys that I might sound like I'm downing or whatever with this father thing, I think if you gave them all another chance to be better than they were, better than some of us were, I think people would actually choose to do the right thing. But we only get one life to live. We only get one opportunity to do it right. You know, sometimes we can do it with another woman. We can start over and do it again and try it, but it don't take away what we did wrong the first time. But some of you, y'all know how I am. I'm all about rehab. And I believe that people can do something wrong and come back from it. I really do. I think life is short, but it's long enough to be different. We all can be different. We don't have to stay the same. We don't have to live in an echo chamber. We don't have to believe everything that life has been in the past. We can believe that it could be what it needs to be in the future. But a lot of people tend to get caught up in these echo chambers, and it defines who they are, and it defines where they're going, and it defines where they're going to end up. And I just don't like people who tend to want to always believe that it's going to be how it's going to be. The defeated minds. I don't like that. All right, let me move on, man. That was just my sermon. What you say, Ron? Ron said, shit. That's how he would say it. Shit. I wouldn't want to do this shit again to save my life. Well, Ron, I disagree with you, brother. I'm sure you would. I disagree. And I can't speak for you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it the way it sounded. I can't speak for you. Ron said he wouldn't want to do it all over again. The things that hurt the most, Ron, is the things that you probably made your bad decisions on. So if you knew not to make those same mistakes, I think most of our lives are hurt the most in the places where we make the worst decisions. That's just my opinion. I think the only time I ever go through, well, not necessarily the only time, but generally, whenever I'm going through something, it stems from a decision that I made to line up something that can affect me. You understand what I'm saying? And it's I was watching this video and this man said, I don't know if he was a motivational speaker or if he was a pastor, but he said something that was very important. And he said, the more people you have in your circle, the less likely you are to be successful. Blew me away because I'm like, damn, that's simple. It's very simple and it's true. I learned in life that I tend to move a little bit better when I have less people around. He said, there's always going to be snakes and, people around you that don't really supposed to be there. So the more people that you have around you, you're going to have to watch people. You're going to have to watch them. So you can't concentrate on what you need to do to be moving forward. And I'm like, that is so true. When these guys hang around, if you look at professional athletes with these big ass entourages, they generally, somebody's there and, there's some way that somebody's going to get in some trouble. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's at the nightclub. Somebody's pushing somebody's button. Somebody's doing something where you made a decision to be part of this big ass entourage, and everybody's not out for your best interest. So here comes the trouble based on your circle. Not necessarily something you do all the time, based on your circle. And I find it to be true. And I know without even hearing that, I just heard it yesterday. While I was at the airport, I was watching some videos and I heard it yesterday. And I tend to hear things that make sense. And then I try to make it, how does that reflect in my life? And I say to myself, like, damn, that's so true. That's so true, because at my lowest moments in life is when more people were in my life. At my brightest points and my more successful times in life, it's when I was making critical decisions in a small space. But it's like going in asking everybody, what should I do? What should I do? I don't like that what should I do ass attitude, because you're just trying to get validation from people. Fuck that, man. Just go for what you know, bro. Because when you fail on your own. Fail, you know what I'm saying? Fail on your shield. Like, fall on your shield. When you fail, just fail on your own, on your shield, or with that selective few people. That's all you got to do, because most of the people, if you have a huge entourage, most of the times when you fall off, most of them are falling off with you. They go on about their business. But when you keep a small circle, when you got people that'll do things for you that you do for them, man, your entourage went from 10 or 15 people that you call friends down to probably 3. You understand? I mean, I don't need a lot of people around me because, most people have hidden agendas. Maybe that's cynical of me, but I think out of all my years of experience and watching some of the things that I've been through and what I watch other people go through, I'll give you a perfect example, if I may. I always heard about, and I don't want to use any names because I don't want people to think that I'm being funny or, selective on who I'm talking about, or, I don't want that. But I knew a kid that had a lot of success as far as being popular, and he was a celebrity. And I would watch him make mistakes. Some of you probably know who I'm talking about. I would watch him make his own dumb bone ass head mistakes, like make his own mistakes. Nobody forced him to do it. And what they would say to him in the media about him is his circle let him get away with everything. You know what I'm saying? It's his circle's fault. It's his circle's fault that he's doing those things. And to a large degree, that's true. Even though he makes, like, for instance, DC, let's use this. DC said John Morant is an example. That's right. But John Morant makes those decisions of his circle. See what I'm saying? If he had the right circle, they wouldn't allow him to do those things. So, I mean, we have to select our circles properly, because if we don't, we're going to just be that fool and that class clown that everybody expects you to be anyway. And I guarantee you, when a lot of these, like John Morant, DC, the guys that's caught up in them gun charges with him, or, they're not facing any penalty. They're not facing any backlash. They're not facing missing $200 million. They're not facing that. That young man is. You have to surround yourself in circles with like thinkers, people that think just like you. If not, good luck. And not a bunch of yes men. Not a bunch of people that's just saying, yeah, you got it, we got it. Yeah, whatever you want, champ, whatever. No, man. Those people are not going to be anywhere to be found when the trouble comes. Nowhere to be found. I made a comment Friday. I'm running up against the hour. I made a comment Friday about let me see if I can play the video. Let me see if I have the video. Let me see, what did I? Yeah. I want you all to hear this, and this is very important to me. Every once in a while, I try to not have so much fun. You know what I mean? Like, I really enjoy doing this platform. I really do, more than you can imagine. However, it becomes a little frustrating at times because of my time, the time that it takes, the effort that it takes, and it doesn't pay well. But that all being said, I think that God has blessed me to be the type of individual that reward is not always monetary. It doesn't have to be financial. I think my experiences at life, just like yours, your experiences are not just valuable to you, they're valuable to other people. And sometimes we have to share our experiences to help other people. Some people don't like that. Some people call that arrogant, conceited. Some people call it, they think they better than everybody, whatever. They use negative terms to express someone that may be giving more than what some people are wanting. Some people want entertainment. Some people don't want education. Some people say, man, I didn't come to the damn Mike Epps show to be told political theories and things of that nature. I don't need Mike Epps telling me that shit. Nigga, I bought some weed. I came in here to laugh. I respect that. Just know the rooms that you're walking in. Just know the room that you're walking in. Don't expect me to be some class clown when you come tune in to Wyatt Live. I might laugh and chi-chi and cha-cha-cha. You can cha-cha-cha to the... I might do all that. But my intentions is not to sit here and be funny. My intention is to sit here and give you a little bit of what I think we might need, or we all need, in order to get over the day and bless somebody or be blessed or whatever. That's just my intention. And I've never come on here and said something with malice in my heart. I've never come on here and tried to dog somebody or make us look bad as a people. I've never done that. And if people think that self accountability is making someone feel bad, this is not the program for you. All right? Because I might say something about, what's her name? Shyrese Richardson, or whatever the girl's name is. You can sit back and love her. That's fine. I ain't have no problem with the sister. I did. Representation. I got girls in my life, daughters. If you're going to have this huge platform, there comes a responsibility with those huge platforms. Now, if you want to say something about, what's the little gymnast name that just kicked butt yesterday, over the weekend? What's the little girl's name? It'll come to me. I can't think of it. It'll come to me. But I have a video of her getting ready to kick butt up in Paris at the Olympics, Summer Olympic Games. And she went in there and shut things down. And she's a great representative of her sport. She's a great representative of a young lady her age. And she's a great representative of family-oriented situations. Her family was sitting in the audience, and everybody was sitting there and watching her, and she did a great job. And Simone Biles, thank you, Terry. She's a great representation. You don't hear about it. She's not on the planes cussing people out and feeling a certain way and feel entitled. That's just not what it is. So what I say to her, congratulations, great play. I love the fact that you are a brilliant and well representative of your sport. That's what I look for when my child hits a TikTok. I want that type of representation. I love the fact that she speaks positive and motivates our little girls to be great. That's what I'm looking for. I mean, I think that's when you pick up that type of responsibility. Now, you don't have to do that. And then I don't have to like you. You don't have to like them. But when you act a fool, You open yourself up to be called a fool and be called up on your foolishness. Bottom line. It ain't got nothing to do with attacking the little sister and all that. It ain't got nothing to do with that. I want to show you this video right here. And it kind of gives me, and y'all seen it. Y'all seen it on Friday, and it's nothing new, okay? But it's just something that I want everybody to think about. Because everything is not supposed to be easy to figure out. But there's so many roadmaps to what things need to be. It's so many roadmaps, man. We get in our minds, and people have convinced us of certain things, and we just don't even see. Some people just don't see it. They don't see possibility. They only hear it, and then they debunk it. And the roadmaps are there. What is that thing on Siri? I know my phone's gonna go off. But what's that thing when you ask them a question? Or what's my name? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but you got Siri, and then you have who else? Lexa, turn off the kitchen lights.
Okay.
Who would have ever thought? Who would have ever thought? Let you watch this video, and you tell me what you get out of it.
$11 billion a year.
Say that again.
The black church raises $11 billion in tithes and offering a year. If you put all of those black churches together, they wouldn't make a Fortune 100 company. The smallest Fortune 100 company has revenues of $44 billion. That's Qualcomm. The largest Fortune 100 company is Walmart. It has revenues of $611 billion, which means that all of these black churches and all of these black preachers and all of these denominations don't make a single strong American corporation. So the challenge of African American people together, as you've heard me say, the challenge is not necessarily political, it's internal unity and our ability to work together toward a meaningful outcome. So you're absolutely right. If the church isn't involved in economic impact, economic engagement, that it actually will cease to exist in the near future. Black church, $11 billion a year.
Say that again.
The black church raises $11 billion in tithes and offering a year. If you
Kind of hard to believe, isn't it? I know. You can Google it for yourself if you like. You don't believe it. Actually, the number's kind of short. The number's short. It's 11.5 billion, almost 12 billion a year. What that tells me, just doing the basic math, is that the banking system, just from black churches, are depositing almost $1 billion a week in the banking system. Do the math on that one, DC. Close to $12 billion. That averages almost $1 billion a week deposited into our banking system. I think the beautiful sister in the Wyatt Live Messenger group asked a question. In the Wyatt Live Messenger group, I put that article in there and the Google proof and all that. You know, I don't have to do it, but I did it just because questions came. And basically, I'm sorry, that's my dog. Basically, $1 billion a month. And the question comes, who controls the money? Beautiful sister, I think it was, I don't know. I think it was Cleopatra Jones in our messenger group asked a question. She said, where does that money, where do they deposit that money, Wyatt? %99.7% of it goes into an FDI insured bank. %99.7% of it is deposited in an FDI, federally insured bank. Who gonna mess that up? Who gonna mess that up? Now, this is not a knock on the church. It's not what you think. It might be a knock on some leadership. And for those that question what I said on Friday about how could Disney have the privileges that they have in the state of Florida, and we not even have a leader that would even come up and say, this is exactly the blueprint we need. We don't have them type of leaders. Those type of leaders you call rebellion. You call those type of guys, they call them the renegades. They call them crazy too, to be honest with you. That's an easy word. They call them crazy, militant. But if we have a mechanism that's bringing in $1 billion a month to an industry that we don't control, have we stopped and thought about full potential? Have we stopped and thought about full potential, or are we being sidetracked and thrown off? And are we really thinking about this? I'm not here to change any minds. I'm just here to maybe put something different on your mind. I'm not trying to say that this is Republican or Democrat. I'm just telling you that this is something that should be on your mind. We sitting here putting each other down, fighting each other, thinking that one man is better than the other man. You're basically saying this man will do better for me than this man will do better for me. That sounds like some bitch shit to me. That's just me. Sorry, get mad. I know I got a bunch of people that love the politics and they love to be politicked. But the real questions to your leadership should be, how could we change this money flow? Now that I see how the money move, how do I position myself to get this money? How do I position ourselves? Give me Lincoln Hikes. Y'all know I got that argument. You ever thought that these systems are not meant to work for you? Man, I said I wasn't going to get into this one today, and I'm not. This isn't the conversation people come in here to listen to. All I'm saying to you is the leaders that's put in your face, a lot of them are gatekeepers. A lot of them are positioned to condition your mind a certain way, to focus on things that are minute of a problem. If you're sitting back here worried about a 0.1% chance of something happening to you, and you make it a big deal because algorithms make it a big deal to you, you're part of the problem. You being politicked. And it's funny how the ones that do the politicking are all the ones that are making all the ticking dollars. I'm going to say this one thing real fast. Some people might not want to hear it. They may not like it. And I might not even have my mind wrapped all the way around it yet. But I heard something from a young lady. A young lady. Some of y'all might know who this is. I'd rather not say because they don't really talk about me. So why should I talk about them? Whether I'm saying something good or bad, if you don't mention or say anything to me at all about me or in regards to me, then maybe I shouldn't say anything or in regards to you. And that's just out of respect, whether I like it or don't like it or whatever. It has nothing to do with likes and dislikes. Okay. But I heard a young lady, I guess a 30-year-old. I'm not quite sure how old she is. I would say right around 30. She's probably closer to 30 than anything. Okay. She said the one thing about Republicans is we know they ain't shit. That's what she said. Okay. We know there ain't shit. But I think the younger generation are done with the Democrats because now we're starting to understand that they just as much of a liar as the Republicans. But why we have a problem with the Democrats is because they lie and they cheat just as much as the Republicans. And we would rather deal with somebody that we know is lying to us versus somebody that's tricking us into a lie. Well, there's a little bit of logic. I have to kind of think about that for a second. I could be wrong. Help me out if I'm wrong. And I don't mind being wrong, but I just had to think about that statement because it was powerful. Whether this person, like I said, talks about me or anything, it's nothing about that. It was just the fact that a 30-year-old had that type of spiel. And guess what, guys? She's not the only one I've heard that from. She is not the only one I've heard this particular statement from. Maybe different. They said it different, but it had the same meaning. My question to that theory is this. If all you've ever listened to are the people that have been deceptive to you, telling you about somebody over there, the other side, and now you just now coming around to understanding that they have not been honest to you in your face, how can you believe what they actually say is true about what they were possibly deceiving you about? You're just now coming around understanding that, okay, the Republicans ain't shit. But now these Democrats, they'll lie to you, and they really, these are their words, not mine. I might be paraphrasing a little bit. However, if you now come to the conclusion and understand that you've been lied to, tricked, and they ain't really as honest as they try to come off to be, you don't even know anything about the other side because you've never been part of the other side. And the only thing you know about the other side is what's been taught to you by the side that you now seem to be deceived by. It's almost like, and this ain't gonna make no sense to some people. This ain't gonna make no sense. If you ever grew up in a house and all they did was talk bad about God, all they did was talk bad about God, and you finally get out on your own and get a mind of your own with your junior high friends, and they all going to church on Thursday nights and going to Bible study, and your perception of God is what you get at home. I can't blame you for that. I can't blame you for that. I can only blame the people that raised you to think that way. But then you got to be the person to say, well, maybe let me give this God thing a chance. Let me give the God thing. What could it hurt me to try to listen to what God messages may be and take all the bias out of what's been taught to me? That's all I'm saying. But if all I have is the impression that the people who have left on me, if that's the only thing that I have, if that's what I'm going by, if I've been taught by deception, do I really know the truth? That's me applying logic to the 30-year-olds' way of explaining why they don't deal with either party. My impression of both parties is the same. I think Republicans are no different than Democrats. I think the politics is different, but the overall goal is the same. To collect as many as they possibly can to push their own agendas. Now, what you have to decide, and I think this is a fair argument, is when they collect as many as they want of you or the other side, when they collect you, are you on board with what they're willing to give you? Or what? So you got to understand, I don't believe in them giving me anything. So that's the first hurdle we have to get over. I think you only get in this world what you negotiate, not what someone gives you. You just got to be in a position to understand what to negotiate for. And when I see us, because you got to understand, my grandmother was big on us going to church every week. And I would drop $1. It might not have been mine. It might have been out of my granny's purse. But I know when my grandmother retired, a percentage of her retirement went into the church. to build a bigger church. I ain't gonna tell you what church it was because y'all would actually laugh. It would be proving my point. The church is no longer a Black-owned church. It has now been taken over. And my grandmother donated percentage of her retirement to the church to help it grow, to relocate it. I'm so happy that my grandmother died before that church was taken over by a whole different type of, I don't know, what do they call it when you're Baptist, you know what I'm saying? All these different religions and shit. I'm glad my grandmother passed before before they made it, they tossed it over to something else. Thank God. We got enough money. We have enough game plan to make bigger churches, but we don't have enough game plan to make bigger land. And some people might think that this is all, like when I talk about, I don't stack what, I don't like people be talking stacking money and all. I don't stack money. I stack acres. And a lot of people are not clear. They're not clear on what I'm talking about. And I don't mean that to be like that one kind of guy. I'm saying that, I've just paid attention. And I just pay attention to the things that work. But more importantly, actually, let me just rewind that a little. I do pay attention to the things that don't work. I just don't give it a lot of, I don't give it a lot of energy. I focus on the things that work. And I just move that blueprint of what's working here to another area. I don't concentrate on things that are not working. And if I've seen some things that are not working for 3, 4, 5 decades, it's in my rearview mirror and I'm not paying attention to it anymore. It's obvious that it doesn't work. And some things, some people try to convince you that if we keep pushing and if we keep working at it, we're going to change it. Let me tell you what I think of that. Can I take a sip? Let me tell you what I think of that. Those are the same people who believe working hard is better than working smarter. Those are the same people that run in echo chambers. These are the same people that find the same thing that's always been wrong now. It's always been that way and it's going to be that way. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. And even if it is, the only way to change it is to change you. Perfect example. My little nephew was playing this little video game. He was playing a video game. And I heard a whole bunch of commotion. I think it was a fighting video game like the Call of Duty. And I'm like, damn, Lawrence, they talking crazy on that damn thing, man. And he was like, yeah, man, we get cussed out. We be cussing them out. And the white boys be calling us the N-word. And we be, talking back. And I'm listening to them. Now I'm not even watching the game. I'm just listening to the conversations of them guys going back and forth. If you guys don't know, I know they wear these headsets. But one time I had her playing in my theater. And I could hear the whole game through the speaker sounds, right? So I'm listening to all of the combat talk. I'm listening to the little boys talk at each other. I'm listening to this. I'm listening to that. I'm listening to the white dude say N-word. after they lose a game, and then I'm listening to the black dudes call the white dudes, whatever, they going back and forth. And I'm like, damn, this is horrible. This is crazy. And I was like, don't y'all get mad when he was like, no, Uncle, what I'm gonna get mad for? I said, well, back in my day, bro, if one of them dudes called me, so he was like, what I'm gonna do, jump through the game? he schooled me, like, what I'm gonna do, jump through the internet and beat his ass because he called me the N-word? I said, you got a point. He was like, man, that don't bother us, man. Ain't nobody tripping on that shit. And the reason why we not tripping on it is because, Unc, you the one who told us. If you give them the power to make it affect you, then they winning. Don't nobody care. You call me the N-word. He was like this. He was like, them dudes, he was like, they'll call you that just to throw you off your game, bro. Ain't nobody falling for that bullshit. And I'm like, I'll be damned. They getting it. They understand the power of words is true to some. And when you take the power out of the word or power out of the behavior, it means absolutely nothing. Now you're in control. I'm like, I like that. I got in his ear real good about it. Twitter fingers, yeah, they call them internet gangsters and they talk all that stuff. And y'all know they go to school and don't say nothing. Y'all know that, right? They go to the schools and they don't say a word to them guys because they know what would happen if they spoke like that in person. It's like everything else. Don't laugh. Y'all better not laugh because y'all got people just like that around you. You got all them people that get on the radios and the internets and be talking about how bad white folks are. And then as soon as they go to work, they be kissing everybody's ass. Y'all know that is real. And I'm not saying be arguing with everybody, but yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. All right. Okay. Tomorrow you want me to work some? Okay. Got you. Ain't nothing wrong with it, but it is. If you're going to sit back and tell how people what we supposed to be doing and this and this and that, get out of here. You ain't going to fight nothing. You ain't going to fight sleep. The best way to overcome ignorance is success. When you don't need their money, they hate you. They want people to dislike you because you don't need them. So the way they do things is they make you the punching bag. They make you the guy who, they make you the bad guy. They make you the guy, he's not credible. She's not credible. They talking crazy. It's not always like that. I'm tired, y'all. I'm a little jet lagged a little bit. My trip to California was really, really nice. Got a chance to eat some oranges and spent a little time with some people that I respect and love. And I want to thank everybody that came in today. I respect and love you as well. This is Wyatt. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
You know, if you can't get with the style, let's go with all right now, but you need to be sitting down. If MCs can't get with the style, let's go with all the need to sit down. What you know, yo? Kick up at the ground. But anyway, I'd like to take this No, I don't think you can get live with that BJ. So sit back, relax, Max about to attack and turn your flame into Similac, cause it's like that. I kick funk out the frame, make it insane with all local stops with the rumble like the blue train. My figure's my format figure all that. No cop for combat, with boy like Super Cat. Show you where my hands is at and crack you where the bat, where the funk. Take a chunk of it and fatten it, rearrange the skit, make it fit so you can't sit. Ain't that some shit? I rip it. I snap a jaw, stab a jab a dinosaur. Live from Greenmore, under the floors like the rough neck. Wicked and wicked, check the dissect the MC in his project. All you brothers need to know though, there's no more best MC, cause that is now me. CG, I am King MC. What's said for me, can't another brother disagree. Got the funk leading all out your trunk, and that's all there is to. That's all it is. If you can't fuck with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. If you can't fuck with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. If you can't fuck with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. If you can't fuck with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. You must got no brain to say. I'll kill you dead on the spot with the hits I got. Trust my flavor, G, I make you wanna be me. I got what you can't see, something like telepathy. I slow it down, something like this. When it's time for me to stun them, MCs I want them. I put them on the moon without funk to listen to. Then again, my vibration may give the sensation they're on vacation. Y'all brothers need a dig say. Real rugged alligator MC hated from the face. You little zigzag trying to act like a lumberjack. Sit back and watch how the earth crack. You fuck around, you lay around, that's how it goes. And I suppose MCs still wanna try this. King of the mountain is a hard job. Do you understand? Stop it, I'll take you out like the mob. Check it black. After the Mac is no rig. Who's not even? Shoot it out, shake the Zulu. Coming out the grind. Getting down. If you can't fuck with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. If you can't fuck with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. If you can't fuck with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. If you can't fuck with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. Sometimes the mode I be writing must be fighting. Yeah, I'm on the air, but I don't care. I say a sick one to out see your sick son, grandson, no telling when I'm done. I'm about to do you and you on some new fool assassinating. Thank you for waiting. Yeah, my bad. I'm looking to the beating in the brain. Make them learn from pain and that's a mistake. You won't get a break. Peace and cake for me to make. You bake. So, Mondsay, here comes the flyers guy that you ever heard in your lifetime. I do a behind, rewind, I wanna kick some more shit, down your faucet, I force it, might have lost it, but then I retrieve it, believe it, I got the fat okie dokie style for a while, peace from the king, peace from the king, G, here it go, one time for your motherfucking mind, if you can't funk with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down, if you can't funk with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. If you can't fuck with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. If you can't fuck with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. Sitting down. Anyway, I'd like to take this part.
Hear voices I don't wanna understand. My car keys are jingling in my head. My high heels are clicking towards your door. Is this one thing that got me tripping? Is this one thing that got me tripping? You did this one thing you saw made me feel it. Is this one thing you did? Oh, is this one thing that caught me slipping? Is this one thing I want to admit? You did this one thing and I was so with it. Is this one thing you did? Oh. you did. This one thing that got me tripping. This one thing that got me tripping. You did this one thing you so made me feel it. This one thing you did. This one thing that caught me slipping. This one thing I want to admit it. You did this one thing and I was so with it. It's this one thing you did. And maybe I just can't believe it. It's this one thing you did. Left the door, but I keep on seeing you. I'm hoping you can keep my secret. Babe, what you did? This one thing that got me tripping. This one thing that got me tripping. You did this one thing you so made me feel it. It's this one thing you did. It's this one thing that caught me slipping. It's this one thing I want to admit it. You did this one thing and I was so with it. It's this one thing you did. It's this one thing that got me tripping. It's this one thing that got me tripping. You did this one thing you so made me feel it. It's this one thing you did. It's this one thing that caught me slipping. It's this one thing I want to admit it. You did this one thing and I